All right, good day, good evening, whatever, wherever you are in the world and whatever time it is. Thanks for joining us for the next installment of our Meet the Vendor series, where we get to meet all the exciting Atlassian Marketplace software vendors around the world. And today we've got Geoff from WallSync. They've been collaborating with Old Street Solutions. And yeah, today they're going to tell us about planning boards for Jira. So thanks for joining us, Geoff.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks a lot for giving us the opportunity to talk about planning boards for Jira. It's fresh off the press. We just launched it 2 weeks ago, so we're really excited to get a chance to share it with you and all your friends.
Awesome. First look, great.
So
take it away. Yeah,
sorry.
Tell us all about it. I can see.
Cool. Thank you.
I can see some wallboards in the background. I can see some sticky notes. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, that will all.
How do we do our planning?
That will all become clear. I'll just share my screen. So what we're trying to do with planning boards for Jira is just create a planning experience within Jira where people can really plan how they like to, so have that flexibility to work how their team wants to, but still with all the power and structure that Jira gives you. So what we do is we provide an infinite canvas where you can plan in a free-form way with sticky notes and shapes and kind of visualize what you want to visualize, but then link everything in and work with it in Jira at the same time. We've also got these kind of smart action tables where you can take any kind of Jira action by dragging and dropping into these tables, and those actions will happen within Jira. So it's just a way of planning that really kind of goes with the conversations you're having around planning at the same time. Yeah. And the other part of it is we can get those handwritten post-it notes from your workshop wall. We can get those meeting notes from your whiteboard, and we can turn that handwriting into text, and they can become Jira tickets in seconds. So for those kind of teams working in a hybrid way, you can really kind of go from collaboration to execution really, really quickly. Obviously, coming from Melbourne, you probably don't get into the office very often, but I think as things open up again, that those kind of moments we have together are going to be really, really valuable and really important because there'll be less of them. So that ability to move from a group kind of planning stage to being able to work digitally and back and forth is going to be really valuable, I think, in the coming year. With that said, I'm just going to jump in and start playing around with it. So planning boards. So here we are, and basically you can create an unlimited number of planning boards in each of your Jira project, and it just gives you this canvas where you can start to work with things. And just kind of set up what you want to do. But the nice thing is that once you've figured out what you want, and anything can become a Jira thing. So now that's a story. I can interact with it in Jira. I can assign it to people, change its priority, all those kind of cool Jira things. And I'll see that live on the board.
And that's, just essentially, ticket created straight away.
Yeah, that's right. So I can, let's say I want to turn all these into stories. I can do that. Now they're all stories. I can see they're all in my backlog and to do, and I can go and maybe organize them as I like. And then take actions on them. Or we could have a thing like we could draw a diagram or something like that, link it to a Jira ticket, and so then what you can do is you can like augment your diagrams with live Jira data. So you can see that these have the Jira tickets at the top and they're all gray because they haven't been started yet. What you can start to see is that as they get done, you'll see that color changes. So you can really you could visualize your project plan as a flow chart, and you can really see that as things get executed, your flow chart's going from gray to blue to green as it goes from not started to in progress to done. So you can really create the picture that represents the lens that you want to look through Jira. A software architect might want to look at a component map. A project manager might want to look at a flow chart, and you can have that view. But also everything's a Jira thing.
Yeah, and I think that's really the key. It's like having the variety of views that the teams and the individuals and the roles need to be able to best understand where things are at. And we use a variety of views, but here's an additional one that's got a lot of flexibility, it seems.
Yeah, that's right. And then we've got these action tables. So I've just set up a few. So what this one does is it's just got story points. So it's an estimation table. So I can drag items in to give it 1, 2, 3, etc. story points. Or here's an action table that will set its priority and assign it to people. And here's
these are just linked to a custom field or a default field in Jira.
Yeah, so you can really set them up to do whatever you like. So you can just set up all the actions that you want to happen when you drag it into that field of that table. So I can set its type, its priority, what release it's in, who it's assigned to, what epic it's involved in, all that kind of thing. So it can really be quite powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in my unplanned backlog. So these are all my stories that I haven't planned yet. And what I can do is I can just bring them into my planning boards and take those actions as I do it. So what we'll see now is this has got 2 story points because I dragged it into the 2 story point column. But what's nice, if I change my mind, so I can now make it 3 story points. And it's just a way of planning that it's just really flexible. People have so many different ways of running workshops and running these sessions that we wanted to make it so people can really just set it up how they want to work. So in the same way, if I want to make this high priority and assign it to Christopher Berry, I drag it in there and it's now high priority and assigned to Christopher Berry.
And what you do is you'd start with your story points, for example, and then you drag them, because then the field value gets updated, then you just drag them into the priority in person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's quite a common way of working, isn't it? Like especially in agile planning, you're often putting things in buckets. So you'll split things between all your story points. You'll probably put them in risk buckets, in priority buckets. You'll assign them to different people. So I think this kind of way of working really suits that agile way of working.
Yeah, and just an easy way to manipulate your data quickly.
Yeah, and it really kind of allows you to see where everything is in kind of a wider space, which I think when you're doing quite complex planning, it's really nice to have that freedom to that freedom of space to organize things, change your mind, and keep reworking it until it's correct.
And get consensus from the team, because everyone can see the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and then the other thing that we think is quite cool is we can now bring in our sticky notes. So if you can see that wall behind me.
Yeah, I can see the wall. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
So if you are the sort of team that collaborates physically, then it is a real pain solving that problem of how do we get it from that meeting wall so that our teams can work on it quickly and efficiently without any data loss. So what this can do is you can just bring in those photos.
Yeah, funny story. I saw this is quite a large company, but this is quite a long time ago. They were trying to push agile, and they had a physical wall board, but it had to be set up in a room with a camera pointed at it because they got offices all over the place. So, wow. Obviously, we fixed that with Jira.
So it becomes quite simple to now move from that workshop wall. Obviously, I can turn them into stories. I can assign them to myself. Done.
And then you can start sizing them and
and you can really just bring in whatever you like. So maybe my to-do list from my notebook.
Any whiteboard scribble.
Any whiteboard scribble. Like, we don't support doctors, but our handwriting detection is really good.
I was going to say I can probably put that to the test with my whiteboard scribble.
But again, so you can bring those in, collect them if you need to, and turn them into one or more Jira tickets. So again, they're now Jira tickets. I can interact with them. Or I could have created them to look a bit more like a traditional Jira ticket, depending on what suits your way of working.
Yeah.
So I think that should give you a flavour of what the product's all about, hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's awesome. So it's that team collaboration space where you can just start dumping information, or when I say dumping, just start writing your sticky notes or dragging in your information from somewhere else, and then go through the process of sorting and agreeing as a team, update the fields, then jump onto your Jira planning boards and off you go. You're running.
Yeah, exactly. And it's live data as well. So if for example, someone changes this outside of the board, it will tell you. So what was that? Which one was that? 106?
But
so if someone changes that story point externally, next time you come back into the board, it will highlight to you that it's changed. And then what you can do is you can either tell it to make the change in Jira, so say, I trust this board, I'd like this board to be correct, or I can see that someone's changed it, move it in the board to reflect that.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, so it's got that two-way synchronization. So you can have you can come to your planning board every week. It will highlight kind of how has the world changed since we last came up with this plan, and then you can make sensible decisions about what should I do based on that change.
Yeah, so that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's access to the most relevant information in lifetime. It's got to be accurate. And yeah, it is all about the speed of ideation to delivery. And if we can, take the ideas that come out of those planning sessions and basically get them into next week's sprint, or it looks like you could start working on it today. After your morning planning session, chuck it all in Jira and start working in the afternoon. So that's amazing.
Exactly, Michael. It's because Jira is this amazing tool for execution. But I think when you are ideating and forming those plans, like you haven't quite decided whether it should be 5 story points yet or 10 story points, or even quite what its description should be. Having that kind of space where you can iterate on the item before it becomes a Jira ticket, and easily kind of change it, and allow that kind of flexibility to be wrong and delete it and change your mind while you're forming the plan. Whereas
to be able to see it in context, because looking at this one thing and it's like not sure, but if you can see everything around it, it makes it a lot easier to comprehend. Yeah,
that's right. Because quite often in Jira, it feels like it's really easy to see one thing at a time. So you might have a filter that organizes everything by priority, or you might have something that organizes everything by person. But being able to have an infinite space where you can have all that information and do all those things together, I think it's quite nice. And these action tables we think can just be really useful, and we're putting a lot of effort into building upon them. But
I definitely because any custom field I'd like to be able to update, because I could, because we use it not just for software development, but we use Jira for many different functions. And the concept of being able to do bulk updates to a wide range of tickets and a wide range of fields. And I could see could even be able to then build out reporting using that. And you sort of demonstrate an example or a use case of that at the beginning, where we're watching basically progress through a process, as you can see the status of the tickets changing. So this is really cool.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, so the diagrams we like.
And I bet you got plenty of ideas. Be interesting to see your planning board for the roadmap and development of this product, because I can see it's super useful. And there's definitely a space for getting the team on the same page. That's really what it is. It's being about everyone being able to see not just their work or their team, but how it fits into this much larger context.
Yeah, I think so. Like a lot of the people we've been speaking to recently, they do their planning outside of Jira and then have to find a way to transcribe it into Jira. So they might use a PowerPoint to kind of visualize their plan before it becomes ready for Jira, or they might use some of those online whiteboarding tools. But then there's no real way to get it in without kind of going through that whole transcription, and then there's no link anymore between them. So that PowerPoint plan is now out of date and stale, and next time you go back to it, it's wrong, and you can't see that. So I think just by being a Jira native, and allowing you to run that whole process in Jira means you don't have that information loss, that all those kind of points where you move between tool and tool and tool.
Oh, but I was thinking about lost in translation. Someone's got a pile of sticky notes sitting on their desk, and given a task to create some Jira tickets. Yeah, and what was that one? And what's the description? Yeah. All right, that's cool. All right, well, thanks very much, Geoff, for sharing this with us. And of course, yeah, if any of our viewers have got questions, they can reach out to Geoff. They can also reach out to Design Industries, and we'll be able to help you out. So, yeah, let's get the team planning. Let's get them to get all this stuff. I mean, this is what it's about. It's getting the work organized, and anything we can do to get the team on the same page, to understand what it is, the objective is, and then to be able to watch it go through the entire process, and for the team to realize they're not just a small, although, you know, the one cog in a big machine, but if, you know, it all has to sing together in harmony. So thanks, Geoff.
I'm all for singing together in harmony.
Oh, I'm not sure if we're going to sing today, but
I think we've just run out of time.
Okay, next time. All right, we'll put it on the agenda. All right,
Thank
cheers.
you so much for that, Michael. And yeah, really nice to talk it through with you.
Likewise. All right, enjoy your day. Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.